Hello everyone, I'm very excited about this YouTube Live, and today we are talking about should you do video in 2020? Apologize for the delay in getting up and running. I am still kind of getting used to this YouTube Live thing, so I did not leave enough time between coming back from the gym to get up here and get it set up. But hey, we're only 5 minutes late, so let's kick this thing off. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Amanda Horvath, and I'm all about helping business owners and entrepreneurs leverage the power of video without breaking the bank or taking up tons of their time. So if you're new here and you're looking to use video in your strategy this year, then be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. Okay, so when I first started with video, I was telling everyone that they should do it. I was convinced that this was a powerful thing that anyone should take on if they were a business owner. Today, after a year and a half of doing this, I am realizing that it's not for everyone. So today we're going to be diving into 7 scenarios that I think is a great part if you are in these scenarios, that video will be a perfect fit for you. It's going to be a hell yes to the answer to the question of should you do video in 2020. So before we get going, go ahead and drop a comment in the section, in the comments section. Let me know if you can see the red on my shirt. Just a little technical difficulty. It also took a while to figure out where to find a live event. Yep, I will work on that as well. Still getting that one. I think maybe if I hit record on my camera, maybe the red shirt will go away because this is my focus peaking. So let me try that real quick. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up. Nope, it's still red. Okay, well we're gonna roll with it. Hopefully you guys can't see the focus peaking on my shirt, but I know. So this time I created a slideshow because the last time that I went live, it was a little bit hectic and it was hard to track what I was saying. Now, having said that, I've created a slideshow and have to kind of figure out the tech side of things as well. So let's just dive right on in and excuse any tech hiccups that I have along the way. Why can you see the red? That is so weird. That makes me want to troubleshoot that, but we are not going to. Well, let me see real quick. Let me click record here. Oh, yeah, so weird. Okay, well, we're just gonna see the red, folks. When you have a GH5, you can't tell things are in focus unless you see this red. And that's how I know I'm in focus. So that's what this is. We're just gonna move on. I'll figure that out for the next Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live. Jeez. Share my screen. You're so in focus. Thanks, Aaron. Okay. Here we go. Scenario numero uno. Gotta get all this stuff out of the way. Present. Scenario number 1 of why you should do video in 2020 is if your main source of leads is word of mouth referrals. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you've kind of heard me talk about this quite a bit. And there's several reasons why this is very powerful to use video if this is the scenario that you're in. First off, you're likely in a business that thrives on word of mouth referrals. This could be doctors, videographers, photographers, graphic designers, hairstylists, right? There's tons of different businesses where it's very common for someone to say, do you know a good X? Do you know a good photographer? Do you know a good videographer? Or anything like that. And the thing is, whenever someone says this to you, they're asking you, you kind of want to give an answer. And even if you haven't actually worked with the person that you're going to refer, you want to be able to give a name. So by creating videos that show your expertise on social media, you just release videos that show your expertise, you will bringing awareness around your products and services to where more people will refer you because you'll be top of mind. So let's just give an example of how this worked within my business. So every time that someone on Facebook, well, first off, I was releasing weekly video content that showed my expertise, which is video. And at first, when I was first starting, if you go back to my original videos on YouTube, they're quite different in topic comparatively to what I'm talking about now. Like now I'm talking about how to use your iPhone to shoot. At the time, I was talking about like how to hire a videographer, how to write your brand video script. And the feedback that I was getting over time was that it was kind of too intense for the person that was looking to DIY it. It was more for the person that was looking to hire a videographer. So at the time, when someone, would go on Facebook and they would say, hey, I'm looking for a good videographer in the area, I would inevitably be tagged. And usually the person tagging me had never worked with me before. So by creating videos around your expertise, you will become the go-to expert in your local market for whatever your service that you offer or product is. So if you have amazing word of mouth referrals right now and your entire business is run on word of mouth referrals and you're kind of tired of the inconsistency with that, start doing video and you'll find that it's a whole lot more consistent and you'll have a lot more leads coming in. And by the way, for all of these scenarios, the perfect solution for you, the very, very first step that you need to take is to get my quick start guide to video. Now, I can't link it yet because I'm live and I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but if you go to amandahorvath.site/quickstart, that will lead you to the quick start guide to video. So I will add that in the description below after we have completed this live. Scenario numero 2. You have a long sales cycle that requires lots of sales calls. So if you are a business that you get like forms submitted online, say you have like a Yelp listing or a Google search listing and people are finding you and submitting, like for example, for video, it was people would fill out a form where they request a quote and then I had to get on a sales call with them and give them the quote, blah, 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 right? There's so many different businesses that require sales calls. If this is your business, you will know your whole process, right? So the reason that I say that video is so powerful for people that are in this scenario is because right now you are likely wasting time answering the same questions over and over again on your sales calls. Just think about how often you're saying the same thing and how frustrating it can be of the question of like, oh God, why don't they know this? This is such an obvious thing to me as a videographer, and now I have to explain it to someone every single time I get on a call. Those topics, pay attention to those repeating topics that you're constantly facing, and these are the videos that you want to be creating content for, or these are the video topics that you should be focused on creating. There you go. Putting my words together in a nice, easy form. I looked at the comments, lost my train of thought. You have a long sales cycle that requires lots of sales calls. Okay, the reason that this works, first off, you're going to have to give it a little bit of time for it to work, but when you release these videos on social media and on your website, then people will be automatically learning these things before they ever get on a sales call. So a frequently asked question within my industry, how much does a video cost, right? Which is a very complicated question to answer because video is kind of like building a house. You can do it on a budget or you can pull out all of the stops and build, a massive mansion. So in this case, I would create a video that would kind of walk people through the considerations that they might need to consider when debating how much their video would cost. Now, if I create that video and put it out on social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram even, YouTube, right? People are starting to see it. They're starting to educate themselves on that topic to where I don't answering that on a sales call when they finally are ready to buy. And the more and more you do this, the more educated the prospects that you work with that are coming into your sales funnel, they're going to be far more educated and ready. They're actually going to almost close themselves on a sales call if you do this right. So it's extremely, extremely powerful. Give me a thumbs up if this one in the comment section, if any of these scenarios really work for you, if it's speaking to you. So just praise hands, thumbs up, whatever you want to do. Scenario numero tres. I have to keep moving my things around the screen. Okay, you guys can't see all of the behind the scenes on my screen, can you? Because I have like this going live software. Let me know in the comments section. Scenario number 3, if you're a solopreneur who can't scale your business, video is going to be epic for you. And here's why. Because you likely have an amazing skill that you have tried to find others that have this skill. You've found subcontractors and started building your systems out as best as possible, but you're finding that even when you hire subcontractors, it lowers your margins and you're not able to really scale your business to the point where you want to scale it because the industry can't really handle higher rates. So it's either that you're really good at what you do and you raise your rates, or you're really good at what you do, you raise your rates, hire subcontractors, and still have a very short margin. So if this is the scenario that you find yourself in right now, video is going to blow your mind and blow your world in 2020. And this is why. If you start creating videos around your expertise, then you will create an entirely new business model for yourself. And the reason that I say this is because if you can build an audience around the expertise that you have, then you can turn around and teach people instead of having to actually do it yourself. So you could teach other people with your trade how to do that thing, or you could teach people that want to actually DIY it. So like business owners, for example, for me, I was creating videos and it was really hard to find videographers that could actually execute on the videos within my style. Multiple times I would have overnight like frustrations when I found out that the video that came back from the outsourcers wasn't good and I would have to pull an all-nighter to make it happen. And that cycle just continually kept happening. And what really changed my business was when I started creating weekly video content that showed my expertise and got me new streams of revenue, such as speaking gigs, and now an online course that's coming out, and it's setting me up for success for even more things to come in the future. So if you can build an audience, you can get out of your lack of ability to scale, right, in your business. So that's something to consider. Welcome, Cody. Okay, I gotta figure out this thing, y'all, with these back and forth. Okay, what did you see? Slides. Woo! Glad. All right, here we go. Scenario number 4. Your business constantly needs to raise capital. Just realized my computer is not charging, which is not good, folks. Not good at all. Let's get this guy charging. My charger recently broke. Okay. Here we go. Scenario number 4, your business constantly needs to raise capital. So if you are in a scenario where you are just having to constantly raise capital because you are in a growth phase, where you're just having to overspend in order to get to that next phase of business, then creating videos around your expertise will once again change your scenario. And the reason that I say this is because meeting investors is just like meeting potential prospects. When you meet prospects, you need to nurture that relationship to the point where they will be ready to buy. If you are looking for capital, it's kind of the same game. You need to nurture the relationships with investors and speak the language to them so that when they do meet you, they are first off impressed with the audience that you've built for yourself, and they can see that there's a market and that you have a perfect product market fit, because when you start producing videos, you're going to get insane feedback on what you are producing, so the product or service that you're offering, people are going to tell you, hey, this sucks, or hey, this is awesome, and it's going to be able to help you kind of guide which direction you should go. So not only will you be building an audience, but you'll also be proving better product market fit while doing so. And these are both things that investors love. Now, also, investors invest in you. They invest in people, right? They invest in an idea, of course, but the business model, it has to be great, but you also have to be, they're investing in your ability to execute the business model that you are presenting to them. So by showing your expertise to these investors, you are reaffirming yourself and giving yourself a whole lot more momentum when you walk in the room and shake their hand. And this is also an amazing opportunity for minorities to get into a room that they might otherwise not be able to get into. So as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl walking up to investors, it would be a little bit harder to maybe close capital, but if they see all the work that I'm putting in ahead of time via a quick email, right? Hey, check out this one video or these 3 videos before we meet, if you can, that automatically reaffirms who you are and what you're doing. Scenario number 4. Okay. Scenario number 5, you want to pivot or start a new business, but don't yet have a product or service to offer. Now, since we're nearing the number 7, I want you guys to start asking questions specifically about your scenario if I haven't covered it yet, because I'm going to go through and answer your specific questions so we can troubleshoot whether or not video is right for you. Because let's be real, video is so much work that if you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know why you're doing it, or if it's going to work for you, then why put in the work, right? So go ahead and start bombing me with questions, and I'll just go through and answer them once we get through these. All right, number 5, you want to pivot, start a new business. This is similar to if you have a business model that doesn't yet scale. If you are in a position where you know maybe you have a job that you're currently doing, but inside you feel kind of torn, like you know that this isn't what you want to continue doing, or maybe if you're even like me and you've created a job for yourself, like for me, for example, I was running a video marketing business and that business wasn't scalable, right? So I've created a job for myself that I wanted to get out of. I wanted to pivot it. And this is the same, you're an employee, you want to get out of that job. If you start creating content, once again, around your expertise, then you will be set up for success when you do have that aha moment of, oh my gosh, this is the product or service that I want to offer. This is the business that I want to start. The first step to running an online business is to build an audience. So by creating content associated with that, you will be in perfect shape. And here's the other amazing thing about this. If it's actually almost better to start doing this when you don't have a product or service, well, kind of. It can be better because of that product market fit that I was talking about previously. If you go into this with no idea of the product or service that you want to offer, then you will be able to kind of ask questions, talk to people in your DMs, really start to get to know the pain and the frustrations that people are facing around your expertise. And over time, you just kind of pay attention to the patterns that keep popping up, the questions that keep popping up. You put pen to paper and you'll have a whole lot more information to base your new business model on, rather than just coming up with a random idea and launching it to crickets. All right. Number 6, you want to start speaking and getting on podcasts. Within 10 weeks of creating weekly video content, I got invited on my first speaking gig. They did not know it was my first ever speaking gig, and I had like 60 or 70 people in the room. And if you guys have heard my story, I've definitely dealt with stage fright, fear of getting on camera, and having to work through all of that self-doubt that comes along with it. So within 10 weeks, which is nothing, guys, think about it. If you started video today, within 10 weeks, you could be on stage, right? And the reason that this works is because you, once again, are showing people your expertise. You're telling people, hey, here's what I love talking about. Come to me. Like, do you want to talk about this? further, because the way that this works is there's so many people out there, whether they're running conferences, they're doing podcasts, that they're having to churn out content on a consistent basis. And I can tell you from personal experience, it can be a little challenging to do completely on your own. So when you see someone that is talking about the information that you want to share to your audience, it's an immediate hell yes for you to get that person to come onto your podcast, come to your conference, and speak on that topic. So I started talking about video, and people started recognizing, or I started talking about video marketing, really, and people started inviting me to speak about video marketing. So within the last year, I've had 3 or 4 speaking gigs, and one of them I got paid for, which was epic. On the 4th speaking gig, I got paid. That's super cool. And there's something really powerful about speaking because it forces you into like kind of an uncomfortable situation. You have to work really hard to get your products together and everything like that. Your like slides together and really work through frameworks. And because you've done that, you'll have even better content moving forward. In terms of podcast, within 1 year, I think maybe a little bit over 1 year, I got on Social Media Examiner podcast, which was like mind-blowing to me that it happened that quickly, but it did. So this is very, very possible, folks. Okay. Hope you guys can still see me and everything is going all right. Here we go. Last scenario. Scenario number 7. You've been wanting to do video for years. I'm just going to pause there for a second. If that resonates with you, then video is right for you. This is going to sound a little woo-woo, but I really genuinely believe that there is something happening where, I don't even know how to say this necessarily, but I think a lot of people's intuition, you don't know where it came from, this desire to do video, but it's there. And so many people are starting to wake up to the fact that you should be on camera. You should be on camera. Even if you currently have stage fright or you get in front of a camera and you look like this and it's really boring content and you don't know how to create videos and all that kind of stuff, you got to push through that, because if there's something inside you that is telling you to get in front of the camera, then it's time to get in front of the camera. As someone that's done it myself, I can tell you it is extraordinarily life-changing. It will be the biggest self-development journey that you will go on, and it will be amazing. It will rock your world. I did not expect to be doing this. Like, for example, right now, today, yes, I could be more prepared. I could not have red on my shirt for the focus peaking. I could figure this out, but like slowly you just start doing it. You mess up, you fail publicly, and you get better. And that experience of putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, and being authentic with people does something to you. It's crazy. So today, I set this up in like 15 minutes. So the few failures that I had, I'd say they're pretty good. All right, so now it's time for questions. First off, just to get this conversation rolling, go ahead and drop in the comments section. This is your opportunity to meet other people that are on this on this YouTube Live. Gosh, I can't get used to saying YouTube Live. Say what you do. Introduce yourself. I want to hear. If you've gone through my quick start guide to video, which by the way is your first step for any of these scenarios that I've mentioned, the quick start guide to video is amandahorvath.site/quickstart. You can get it there. It's a 3-part video series that will help you choose your first 5 video topics and write your scripts. So go ahead, tell me who you are, what are you watching. I'm going to scroll through these and see what people are saying. Greater China area. That's epic. Super cool. Can you see? Okay, good. Like Sylvia, can you help me please? All right, let's go dropping in. Podcasting is the blogging of 10 years ago. I would also love to hear what your 2020 intentions are. I'm going to hang out and answer questions. So if you guys aren't going to ask questions, then I'm just going to be rambling here. So come on, let's get this flowing. So I don't even know how to see how many people are on here. I'm so new to this. Oh, here, let's actually go back to, how do I do this? Escape. Here we go. Let's go back to my default scene. Not that one. That's not what I want. slideshow. There we go. Okay. We're back here, folks. All right, new comments are rolling in. Love your quick start guide. Thank you, Cindy. I would love to hear your explainer statement since you've gone through it, if you haven't. Running a video business in Toronto. Yes, I have. I love chatting with you about the issues that you're facing, kind of brainstorming those together. I really think that I'm telling you guys, the people that are in this chat, like, you guys need to know each other. You're all talking to me, but you're epic. One day I'll create a community, one step at a time, one step at a time. Freelance graphic designer, getting ready to start making videos. Love that. Cannot wait to see what you create. While you are the video queen, have you ever thought of doing a podcast? I have, of course. I have that, whatever you call it, the shiny object syndrome as well, where I'm like, oh, I want a podcast. I want to have a full community of people. Maybe I should start on this platform and everything. And I just keep telling myself, like, focus on your one thing. Focus on your one thing. Your one thing is video. Keep going. Like, until I can create content consistently on a weekly basis without overextending myself or anything like that, I am not going to add anything additional to my plate. I am very focused. I can tell you guys my 2020 intentions, because come on, there's no questions. Let's go, folks. This is your opportunity. Or here, even let me throw out a different question if you're struggling to ask questions. Are you planning to do video in 2020? Did any of these scenarios speak to you? Let me know. Drop a comment. Okay, my 2020 vision, I'm very excited. What I'm working on is a full operations system, a business system that you can take and implement for creating content within your business. It is going to be a very systematic, plug in yourself, plug in your voice. I can't give you a voice, but I can give you a microphone. You just have to run through the system of here's the gear that you need, here's how you set up that gear, here's the full outsourcing package to make this all happen. I'm looking to really build this thing out, and I'm so freaking stoked about it, and I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, so very excited. Okay, here we go. Questions are coming in. Accountant, full-time, and part-time content creator. You guys should definitely check him out, Raul, because he's awesome. One of my hesitations, I'm afraid my video content will be boring, or I don't think I am an expert. How can I get over my self-doubts? Okay, great question. I totally get that. The first one, let me go part by part. So my video content will be boring. Here's the thing. Your video content will not be boring, and the reason it's not going to be boring is because people care about what you have to say. And you might not feel that yet, but if you start just creating content, you're gonna find that people will resonate with it. There are people that are in Toronto that are young videographers that are just coming out of college, okay, that you can help teach them how to use the skills that they have, use the camera that their parents bought them or whatever, how to run a business doing that. Or you can teach business owners how to actually create their own videos or work better with a videographer, create systems around that. Just start talking about things and focus on providing value first and foremost. If you do that, your content will not be boring. And in terms of, I don't think I'm an expert, you don't have to be an expert. You just have to know what you're talking about for a few steps back. So if you can turn around and teach an intern, teach someone something, then you can teach that. Start there. Start with the content that you feel really confident in, that you have mastered. Start teaching that. How can I get over my self-doubts? I have a really great video about this. I think it's called like 5 steps to overcome your self-doubts or something, how to push through failure, or no, that's not it. Something about self-doubts. It's on the Start Here section of my YouTube channel. Recommend watching that video. Okay, I have a T7i. Would it be something I could use to start a YouTube channel? Yes, hell yes. That is one of my recommended cameras for starters. Canon is great, and you can definitely use it for especially like things like this. You go live with it. You can just get that blurred background effect compared to using your iPhone. So it is still a step up from your iPhone. You can do a lot of things with it. In fact, my online course coming out January 15th will teach you how to use the Canon 80D or Canon 90D, which is just a step up from the T7i. And I also have a video on my channel teaching you exactly how to use the T7i. So go check that out right after this video. Okay, seems like other designers all make videos for designers. Same idea, you talk about making DIY videos that eventually bring in paying clients. Or am I just missing the keywords businesses are using? Okay, Cindy, let me think about this. Seems like other designers all make videos for designers. Same idea you talk about making DIY videos that eventually bring in paying clients. So when I was first starting, I'm not sure if this is helpful or not, but I had to decide, am I creating content for other videographers or am I creating content for business owners? And it was kind of this debate. I didn't really know which direction I should head. And when I thought about it, ultimately my goal was, well, first off, other videographers, I'm not looking to be necessarily like a cinematographer or anything like that. So at some point my skill level might cap out and I might not be able to teach them as much in terms of like their direction or whatever. I could teach them a ton about business, a ton about creating epic documentary style videos. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff I could do. But in terms of the business owners, what really spoke to me about that is my passion is really helping others get their message out into the world. So videographers help get other people's messages out into the world, which is cool, but it's kind of one step removed from the business owner who's actually the one doing it, innovating, and disrupting their industry. So I ultimately went with that. So kind of like look at the overall industry, look at where things could head, whether it's to designers or it's to your clients. Like think about what you might want to sell. Feel free to message me on Instagram too if you want to chat through this further. Okay, cool. I plan on doing way more video. I struggle with file handling. Yes, any tips to manage all files that come from video? Jeez, I have a whole entire bin of hard drives that are, years and years of client work and everything. So I actually do have a video on this. I've talked about this. I would say I would watch the video on how to edit from iPhone to export. It's like a thumbnail where I'm holding up my phone and it's a Premiere Pro tutorial. It's a 30-minute Premiere Pro tutorial. In the beginning of that, I kind of talk through how I organize my files. It's a fail-proof system. I've been using it for years. I use it professionally. I use it for my content. So I highly recommend watching that. And then I have one hard drive that I keep. I have a video as well on the best hard drives for video editing, so I would watch that as well. But I keep so I create 5 videos a month. What I do, my file organization, I have a 2019 folder, and I have January, February, March, April, May, blank, 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 right? For all the videos that I create in there. And so for each time that I shoot, I have an individual project file. So I'm not editing them all in one big project file. Each individual video has their own project file. Hopefully that makes sense. This might be a topic I might need to go deeper into an actual video. I'm so bummed this is on my shirt, y'all. If anyone knows how to solve this, which Brad, from Bear City, if you're watching, I bet you do. So let me know how to solve this. Okay. My sister and I started a blog together, but I also want to get on YouTube also. Cool. Is the T7i good enough to use for that? Best just for photos? No, it's great for video as well. I appreciate how you share your 2-year delay before starting. Yes, Cindy. For what she's talking about, folks, is that I wanted to start a YouTube channel for 2 years before I finally started. So if you're in that same boat and you're kicking yourself at this time, this is always the time of year that I would kick myself. I'm like, oh, I didn't do it. This was my goal and I didn't do it. I kept prioritizing other things. And I can just tell you, if that's the way you're feeling and you're really ready to overcome that, then you're just going to have to prioritize non-money-making activity over money-making activity. because when you start creating videos, you're not going to make money off of it immediately, but you will see that over time, it is the thing that will make the biggest difference in your business. Okay, I love this. There's questions coming in. So, planning videos to promote look, there's someone besides Toronto. So, Nazir, if I'm saying that right, maybe you guys should meet. Who knows? You're close to each other. Planning videos to promote my art, but struggle with the problem/solution concept. Cool. Promoting your art. I would say the problem solution, for example, let's talk about this background over here that I've been trying to kind of get some art going up here, and I haven't done it yet. I have a video on like setting up my space and everything, so you could create videos around how to decorate a home with art, how to choose a style for your walls or anything like that. I would target people that would be buying your paintings. You could even do like DIY projects that they could start with, and then they'd learn like, oh my gosh, this is so much work, and they could buy your painting, or it could even launch into a potential new business stream of like a revenue stream for you, where you're teaching people how to create simple templated pieces for their home. That would be fun, right? Like, talk about all this mental health stuff going on where we're all so focused on our screens, on our phone. Personally, I'm looking for hobbies to get off the computer and kind of unplug, get creative off the computer. So you could even target people like me. So just really like think through the problems that the person that's buying your art might be facing. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay. Happy New Year, Rob. Rank how important it is out of 10 to read and respond to all comments received. I would say 8. I really do try to read and respond to all comments. If I miss them, it's usually because they're on old videos, and sometimes the app can be glitchy, or they're asking maybe a too intense question for that platform, and it's like I would need a whole video to describe something to them. So I really do try to get back to all comments. And I'll tell you, when you leave a comment, it makes my day. So leave some comments, and I'll get to know you better. Okay, cool. What do you think about having 2 niches on your channel? I talk personal, finance, and my vlog. And I've been thinking a lot lately if should stick to one, because the analytics show everyone loves the vlog. Oh, that's awesome. Most people usually like the other one. Okay, so I actually think that everyone should go follow Raul. He's super cool. He is going through a personal debt journey, getting out of personal debt. Now, your vlog is talking about finances to a certain extent, and so they really do have that perfect merge. I would say I would keep doing both. Like, for example, for mine, I am talking about video, but I also am going to talk about other things that might be relevant to me, like mindset tips or, I don't know, like lifestyle decisions that change your business or anything like that. I think that your channel should ultimately be you. That way you're never pigeonholed into something that maybe your hobbies change, maybe your interests change, and you have to keep talking about that. Your channel should grow along with you. So I would say keep producing both. All right. How can I find my audience? What if I'm starting with 0 audience? I started with 0 audience, it's the same thing. Do the quick start guide to video. I'm telling you, it will help you. In fact, you have done the quick start guide to video. Just choose 5 topics. Don't overthink it. Choose your first 5 video topics, create those videos, release them, and keep creating. And if you don't want to deal with the headaches of actually having to edit any footage, then go ahead and use Insta stories on a daily basis and just start sharing your life, because I'm telling you, you will get an audience. You already have an audience. You know all those people that followed each other in high school, in college, and all that? Well, you have all of those people, or those random connections that come through on LinkedIn, and you're like, sure, I'll connect with you. There are people that are currently connected to your social platforms. You just have to start creating some sort of dialogue with them so that the ones that are interested in what you have to say will emerge. Everyone has an audience if you start. Happy New Year from India. Further to Raul's question, if your subject areas are really different, okay, we're almost to the bottom of this, If your subject areas are really different, would it be better to pull the pin and set up a different channel so searchers of relevant content can find the right you? Personally, I could not manage 2 channels. If you can figure out a way to manage 2 channels by, like, especially if once my full operations video creation system is set up and you could plug and play your message into that thing and it could turn in a perfect way, then you could create 2 channels. I would say start with 1, because if you put your efforts all into 1, you're going to get a whole lot more progress than trying to divide between 2. So rather than starting with 2 different things that you're interested in, choose the one that's most relevant to you. So for example, when I was first starting my career, I actually was debating, should I be a personal trainer or should I do videography? And ultimately it was a clear decision for me to do video. I went to school for film and everything, but I always had this passion for personal training. And one day, maybe I could launch stuff along that, or I could just keep that as a hobby. And to be honest, after burning out on video for years, I am actually really glad that I've kept the personal training side of things not business, like, because then I can actually enjoy that. I don't have to feel like I'm burned out on it if I don't want to go to the gym or anything like that. So there's value to choosing something and just going all in versus like trying to do everything. Like, I'm not only video, right? But I primarily focus on video. So hopefully that helps. Okay, I think last one. Just started producing educational videos, not getting enough views. How can I get more views? Great question. First off, I would focus, if you are creating educational videos, then I would highly consider doing your research to figure out how to do proper keyword research. I have a keyword research toolkit that you can find in any of the descriptions within my videos. I will eventually add it to this one after I go live and figure all this stuff out. But anyway, figure out how to do good keyword research, get it on YouTube, specifically YouTube SEO, get your videos ranked and people will start finding you. Also, just stay consistent. That's it. People are watching. People are in the dark. They're watching. They don't want to come out yet because there's so many flash in the pan people, right? But when you stay consistent and you don't pay attention to the views, then like pay attention to the small metrics. You go to a dinner party and someone's like, hey, you've been doing a really good job. Like, keep going. I've been seeing your videos. And you're like, weird. Like, I haven't talked to you in like 6 months and you're saying that you've seen my stuff. Like, that's kind of cool, right? That's reassurance. But that person is not commenting or liking. So people are seeing it, whether you think they're seeing it or not. So just keep going. That's my number 1 thing. Okay. All right. Here we go. One is a passion project, narrative, filmmaker shorts, and like the others specific to my consulting here in Winnipeg, permit processing. Yeah, cool. Okay. If you have a passion channel, by all means, do a passion channel, but focus on how you're like the other one in terms of helping people, because that's probably where you'll get more traction. And then the passion channel, then just keep creating content for that on a weekly basis, monthly basis, or whatever. And that might eventually blossom into something. But really, that's kind of what I was saying with like my passion being fitness. The second that you add money into the equation, it does kind of shift things around a little bit. So take it from me as someone that comes from that same background of video, right? When you add money to video, suddenly the creation, it's fun, but it also can become a little bit more of a chore. So I highly recommend maybe keeping that separate. If you produce content, awesome. If you don't produce content because you weren't inspired, then that's okay too. All right, we have reached the end of the questions. Are there any further questions before I sign off? I'm definitely going to research this guy, the red waviness of this, which makes 0 sense to me. I've changed the output from the camera coming in. Let's see if there's anything else I want to try while I'm on here with you guys waiting for some questions. What's weird about YouTube Live or Facebook Live or anything like that is you can't learn it unless you go live. Like, there's no test runs with this stuff. It's kind of crazy. I'm wondering if there's like a check that I have to like somehow check to make sure. I don't know. It's really weird. This time I did figure out how to stream in 4K. Last time it was 720p on accident, so hopefully the buffering was good. I think I figured out the shirt issue. There is a material in the shirt, no, that is reflecting a frequency. No, these are peaking lines. Give your opinion on, it's actually because I think the camera isn't recording technically, so the shirts, it's just bringing in the input and not recording it, so it's not taking off this look. I don't know. Give your opinion on how long a video should be. I'm glad you're asking this question because this is a future video topic that's coming up. There is material. Okay. How long should a video be? It should be as long as it needs to be to provide value and no longer. So if you want to really ramble on a topic and give a ton of information, then you can go live, right? Like I'm doing right now. This is a long video, but it's packed with information. But whenever I'm creating any of my other videos, you can see that it's like tip 1, info. Tip 2, info, right? Like keep it just enough, keep it as short as possible, but also keep in mind that long videos are also great because, let me tell you, if you're producing content for YouTube, the #1 metric for a channel is watch time. So actually the longer your videos are, the more opportunity you have to increase your watch time. So personally, if I'm first off focused on creating value first and foremost and giving only the information that people need so that you're respectful to their time. I don't recommend getting on camera and rambling. Some people really enjoy that. If you're really organized with your thoughts, maybe you can do that. Maybe you're good at that. But I would say structure it in a way to where you're not rambling, to where you're giving the most succinct amount of information. And if it happens to be 10 minutes, then it's fine because people will watch it for 10 minutes if you're offering value. So I know that's not a clear-cut answer. I will do another video about this topic, especially since it popped up in the comments. It is in my next videos to film kind of list. So, all right, folks, I hope this was helpful to you. Go ahead and click like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'm going to awkwardly figure out how to finish this right now. Peace out.